And we're live with you here Sunday morning, early, springing ahead, 6:35 out here West Coast time. Brian, if you're out there, wake up, man! Get on the show. We want to rip on your Niners a little bit. I got some stuff on him I want to get into as well. Tyler, been doing the baseball thing. We just talked about that before we went on. How was your week, sir?
So far, so good. I'm losing my voice. I feel like I've been losing it for about a month. I mean, I wish
You yelling a little
Casey.
bit more at practice?
Definitely not. I'm shouting. I'm not yelling. I'm shouting. Just loud voices. Make
Slight
sure I make
reason.
myself clear and they understand. Man, I was hoping Casey get on here. I guess his phone doesn't set itself
Oh, if
for
there's anything we
daylight
know about,
savings.
if there's anything we know about my brother, inconsistency in time is one of them. So that one, that is a proven fact
And
over life.
directions. And
Direct,
directions.
directions and an ability to show up on time are two things that he has struggled with. Especially, I mean, yeah, maybe Gelati, he's a little better, but I don't know when he was there. But maybe that was the turning point. The work we have to get him a work car. A
Work.
Fatboy FadeAway work car. So kind of an interesting sports week. A lot of would you call it the dead time a little bit of sports? This NBA side with the football. I guess at least this week we kind of had some free agency stuff happen with
Yeah.
football that we'll get into, but it does feel like a little bit of a dead time.
Yeah, college basketball is kind
Getting
of getting ready for their big push, and then baseball is getting ready for their opening day. Everything's getting ready for this great time that's about to be coming. But what we're left with is great free agency and NFL and
I
all those Raiders signings.
were you happy to see Arizona play Kansas?
Yeah, that's
I saw that last night. I was like, Tyler's been asking for this for 30 years.
it's well, yeah. We finally have a marquee matchup every year, and it's gonna be a huge rivalry. Once both teams get going good, I
That's
think they're
funny.
gonna like benefit each other, and it's gonna be the best thing in the Big 12.
Yeah, because I always think to you, kind of just always wanting that matchup over all the Pac-10 matchups they had over the years. I was watching a little bit of our flashback one happened of when we did Celtics and Hawks. We got to do another one of those the look backs. Those are fun. I remember those are that was a good one too. That game, the
That was
Hawks
great.
Celtics 88. All right, so I got some of the stuff we'll get into at the bottom here. The Raiders do land Geno Smith for a third round pick. They take all 31 million left on the contract to get it done. When they went 10-7 last year, or he went 10-7 last year with the Seahawks, they did not make the playoffs. However, 10 wins for the Raiders would obviously be very nice, be very unexpected. Do you feel like from afar Geno would be the answer? Is he much? I mean, he's better than Aiden O'Connell for sure,
Yes.
but he also led the league in interceptions as well last year. He did have 4 comebacks, which to me is always an interesting stat to look at. What do you make of the Raiders getting the deal done and getting Geno Smith more likely as their starting quarterback week 1?
Is he the answer? It depends what you mean by that. Like, if is he the answer for this year? He
Can they
has
get
to
him in the
be.
playoffs and win a game?
Oh man, I wouldn't bet on it. No, I don't think he's that good. I think it's a good signing though. I do like the Geno Smith signing
Well, we
for the
traded for him.
Raiders. Are
A
crazy.
third round pick,
It's more. Is that what you guys gave up? That's kind of a lot for Geno.
and we took all 31 million.
Yeah, but the 31 million they had to spend anyway on something. I don't. And it's only 1 year, so he's off the books if you don't want him. I
Yeah.
like the signing. I think it's a good stopgap. I still think you have to address the quarterback position in the draft or in trade somewhere else, which they're not going to do this year. But he's not the long-term answer. But for this year, I think he can get the ball out. He's accurate. He just sometimes can make bad decisions. That's the only thing you have to worry about.
Like I said, the 15 interceptions that we had and the one there before. It's interesting. The Raiders, again, I think we talked about this last week. This feels like this felt like where the Raiders were headed down the Geno route. Or I was thinking maybe Rodgers at best, but I don't know. It's not really one of those moves that do anything for me. Like somebody I ran into somebody yesterday in Cloverdale, and he was like, "Yeah, but remember when Pete Carroll first went to the Seahawks and he signed Matt Flynn and he signed so somebody else, and then they ended up drafting Russell Wilson." I go, "Yeah, but that doesn't mean like." I mean, that's the plan? Like, you know what I mean? Like, get a third, fifth round. We just gave up our third round pick, but get like a fifth round quarterback that just starts week 1, like the Niners were able to get. That stuff seems doesn't seem realistic to me. So, even Doug said I was being selfish wanting Ward or Sanders. I don't think that's selfish. I think that should be their top priority is get another quarterback. They need a young quarterback. So,
Do you
but
believe in
after this
those
move, I
guys?
don't think they will. I don't think they're going to get a quarterback in the first round. I think this
No,
move.
I think they'll wait for Milrow or Jackson Dart if Jackson Dart slips like in the second round, and that's where they'll address the need if it's available, and if it's not, which it might not be, because these quarterbacks always go higher than you expect them to go.
Always do.
Yeah, they always find a way to fall into the top 20, at least
Yeah.
a decent one. I don't know what the Raiders do now. I mean, you got to address the O-line. D-line still is
Oh God,
a
if they draft
problem.
O-line at 6, that's like one of those picks that just make me puke half the time. It's like, what are we doing?
That's how you win, though. Like, it's not sexy, but that's how you win. I don't know why you don't like the O-line or D-line picks.
Because they never were. They
That's an issue. That's a
we took
GM
Leatherhead.
thing,
We got Leatherhead a few years ago. Gallery still burns deep in the soul. We did not take Larry Fitzgerald. No, I think defensive line I'd be okay with. They got the guy from Penn State. I'd be good with that.
Oh, that'd be great.
They get guys like that, fine. But they also took Wilson last 2 years ago. He was garbage at defensive end. So, but to go back to Smith, it just feels like one of those retread quarterback Raider gets. You know what I mean? Like, and I know Geno's maybe better than that, but the Seahawks are a better organization, and they had to me they run things a little better than the Raiders and cleaner. And I'm not so sure Geno can get the job done. So we'll see. Just throw the ball to Bowers, I guess, a lot. That's the key. Just throw the ball to Bowers.
Do you believe in Sedor and Cam Ward from Lake?
Yes, enough to take him. Yes.
Even if you're giving up future capital, like I don't know, this is why I like the Geno move. I don't really believe in both those guys.
So wait another year, basically, right?
Well, you got Geno to hold you over. If they fall, then sure, but I wouldn't trade future assets to move up to 1 or 3. I think Sedor knows he's going either to the Raiders or the Giants, and that's why you get these interviews where it seems like he doesn't care what teams think of him because he already has like a guarantee of where he's going.
I don't know. I just hear, don't push the envelope too much. You get Geno, it holds you over for a year. I mean, I feel like I've heard that so many times where it's like, it's not a holdover anymore. It's like you need to actually get somebody. And so, like I said, unless he has like a Gannon type kind of late run here, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see where he gets his at. He's definitely better than O'Connell, though. I'll say that.
Yeah, so they've improved. It's not even, like you said, it's not really the holdover. It's like the game plan now to sign some retread quarterback in early March, and that's going to be a quarterback.
I don't know. I'll be curious if Casey, like, how much you actually loved it. Yeah, I have to get his.
He'll convince himself he loves it.
I mean, he did. I mean, Geno, like I said, you look at the highlight package. He had some nice ones last year, like the runs, and had that clutch drive to beat the Niners at the end of in the first meeting they had last year. So Raiders get their quarterback in Geno for this year, it seems. We'll see if they end up getting anybody in the draft. I'm kind of with you. I think it's going to be more the Dart or Milrow. I think it's going to be one of those guys, maybe even somebody else that I'm not even thinking of right now. I don't think they go the quarterback route anymore at the draft, at least in the first round. So we'll see where that goes, unless they trade up, and then they end up spending the most money ever on a not quarterback, and they signed Max Crosby, who is a stud. I think everybody knows that as a football player. That he's definitely their heart and soul. It made no sense when trade rumors came out about getting rid of him. Just like, you don't get rid of guys like this. That's dumb. That is like that's just dumb as it gets to get rid of like your best defensive end and your best defensive player and your heart and soul. You just don't do that. And so they do sign him, obviously do a massive contract. He says it's an honor to be held at that high of a standard. I take that seriously, and I'm sure your bank account appreciates it when you hit it. So what do you make of them re-signing Crosby? Those rumors go to die on the trade, and then they keep one of the best defensive ends along with Geno now. Is that a little? They'll give him a little hope. I mean, as a defensive player, you kind of need your offense to do something for you. So to me, an obvious keep for the Raiders, but he's a stud.
No, yeah, great player. You have to bring him back. Doesn't change anything. The Raiders, he was on the team last year. He was great last year. He'll be great this year as long as he's healthy. being the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history is kind of wild, but that's just the way the NFL is working. If you can rush the passer, you're going to get a big contract, and if you can protect the passer, you're going to get a big contract. And if those are the two most important things outside of quarterback, Crosby, he's just a great player. They got to put pieces around him on that defensive line. They've tried, they've kind of failed, and then they just got to get better at the linebacker position. They were a little better, and I don't. Is their secondary good enough? Like I don't know.
No, our secondary is definitely not. Our secondary is still definitely not. I mean, Jack Jones is okay, you know what I mean, but I wouldn't say he's great by any means. Would you? I would not say that.
I don't watch enough Raiders like secondary players.
I mean, you see Jack Jones get interceptions. I mean, that's usually what you see from other teams, right?
But I felt like it was all 2 years ago where he had that big run, and then last year I don't remember seeing the name as much.
Well, last year he didn't do as much. They struggle in every position basically. They need, other than defensive end with Crosby, they don't have anybody. And the linebacker Spillane, who actually came on, they don't really have anybody that, to me, is a dominant force on defensive end. So they're going to need more. They've drafted guys. Wilson was one of them, like I said, high from Texas Tech. So we'll see if he can maybe finally figures it out next year. But what do you make? How long does him being the highest paid dog quarterback last? Does it last his free agency?
It might not. I don't know. It just moves so quickly. It's crazy. My biggest thing is it seemed like Max Crosby was being like slowly getting disenchanted with the Raiders. Like it just felt like there were rumors out there and like little like tidbits being released where it was like, and then does the money just make it all go away, or how long does this last? Like you got to start winning, or I have a feeling he's going to want to be traded. Like it doesn't guarantee he's going to be on the team for 3 years.
No, I think the 2 is a good guarantee because Pete, the new year this year, gives him a little. And then so I could see that being the case and into it. Highest paid positions at each thing, so yearly, and then you have overall guaranteed money. So at the quarterback, you have Prescott making $61.6 million, and then you have Deshaun Watson. He has the most guaranteed money at $230 million, which is crazy. Prescott's right behind him at 229. Mahomes 208. I'm sure that will change as well. Running backs, Barkley makes the most yearly, 20.6. He has the most guaranteed money, $36 million. The next running back on that list is Jonathan Taylor in terms of total guaranteed money, and Kamara as well. And then for wide
CMC, I thought CMC was at like 19 point something.
He's 24 million, so he's 3 on that list. It says. And then receivers, Justin Jefferson, he has the most yearly and most guaranteed. Tight end yearly is Kelsey, and then guaranteed is Hawkinson at 42.5 million. Offensive line, 30 million. And most guaranteed is 88 million. So some high positions, guards right up there with the same as well. Cornerback, Surtain has the most guaranteed, 73.9. Ramsey makes the most yearly. And then obviously Crosby, like we just talked about, makes the most yearly. Nick Bosa, 120 million guaranteed is the number that you got there. So just to give you an idea on some of those guys, what they make. Let's see what the long snapper, 1.67, 2.8 by Tyler Ott is the most guaranteed for a long snapper. And then good old putter position, 8.5, Michael Dickinson. Not that
8.5 million to kick a ball 4 times.
Guaranteed money. His yearly is 3.9 million. So he's not doing bad for yourself.
Not a bad gig.
Not a bad gig, man. Hopefully never got to make a tackle. And you're in good shape there. So that gives you a look at some of the contracts there. Any of those jump out to you?
No, I mean
Roquan Smith is off the ball.
Who was the lineman? That was a lot of money. I was like, holy smoke.
Yeah, I didn't want to go through every guard and all that position, but it was the offensive lineman. Tristan Wirfs, he makes 88.4 million guaranteed. The Sewell, who the Lions signed last year, is at 30 million yearly. So that gives you your top offensive lineman contract there. So I thought that was interesting. I was kind of going through the contracts. It's always funny looking at the highest paid. Like those aren't like your star. They're great players, but it's just some of the names you don't recognize because of the way that these contracts are done. What do you think of the Niners and Purdy? So if Brian was here, he'd be like, remember Brian, I wanted to give him a bad time about Purdy going to take a little pay cut. He's just not going to. And so the one thing that would be interesting to the Niners is they have a history now of negotiations going longer than they need to go. or longer than you want them to go. I guess that's a better way of saying it. What do
Deep
you
into
make?
the training camp.
Yeah. So what do you make of kind of the Niners here? They're kind of at an interesting time. They were in the news quite a bit this week.
Man, I wish Brian was here. He'd be more passionate about this than me as far as contracts. He's not going to take less than a dime less than what he is supposed to get. He's not. He might look like a nice guy. It's a business. He's going to go get his money. Ted York just came out and said maybe we didn't do our due diligence on IU, Trent.
I saw that.
And was like, I don't know why we're giving in so easily. I was like, giving in so easily? They're almost missing weeks of the season, like, if we waited any longer. So, Jed's fed up with the contract. I don't know what they're going to do with Purdy. Is Purdy supposed to take it all on the chin and be like, okay, I'll be the one who... I don't see that happening. The agents won't let that happen. It's their big payday as well. So, like...
Do they kind of give him the tag, though? And then that kind of...
I don't know. I think he'll get his deal. There's also rumors out there that they didn't offer $45 million, and
I'm only hearing 40. Yeah, I'm hearing more.
45. So.
Is that what you've heard officially from the agent?
But they're even saying that's not even a real offer. There hasn't really been an offer supposedly, but if it has, it's 45.
Are you worried about the Niners at all? I feel like some of this.
Yeah, I'm very worried. I don't think they're as talented as they were 2 years ago. Like, it's not the Purdy part of this. I think he's a great quarterback.
You still have IU, CMC.
Yeah, but he didn't look good last time he played. CMC didn't look good last time he played. That's where my concern is. Like, if my last viewing of you isn't great, like you look like you lost something, normally it trends in that direction for longer and keeps going that way, especially in football.
And you guys cut the defensive tackle that you got from the Eagles, right? Not a fan of that one?
They need a defensive tackle in the worst way.
Not a fan of that one.
No, that was a bad signing.
He was so good for it's funny, those defensive tackles seem to like, that's always a position to me that cracks me up in terms of, I feel like they get big money from the year before, and then you're like, my gosh, what happened? Like, you're not even like, it's just kind of a weird position to me. Like, you do absolutely nothing with this. So anything else you want to go with the Niners on it? I do think, the Purdy situation will build up some stuff. That will be interesting. The Niners draft. I guess I just want to ask you about this. Where do you think they could go? Because I was listening to a lot of the Kruger show driving in at night coming in.
Wild, man.
He is, but like some of the phone callers, I thought they're kind of fed up with some of the they're like, this cannot be our wide receiver group. Like they're like, this cannot be our Ayuk if he's going to be out. Pearsall is not there. Like a lot of people are calling him like still a college wide receiver. How are you passionate about the receivers? Like if they don't upgrade that position and they go in camp with what they have right now with maybe just a late pick or something like that added to it?
I mean, I'd like a second or third round. I don't want a first round wide receiver. That'd be terrible. They don't need to. They run the ball. They throw the ball 32nd most in the NFL. Jawan Jennings is a good receiver. Pearsall was getting better as the season went on. They still have Kittle. That's not like...
So you're not worried about the catching position. Not worried about wide receiver.
No. They need to get a 300-pound man who can move people. That's what they need. Offense or defense. I don't care what side. Just get somebody who can move people. I'm sick of getting moved around in the trenches.
It's not sexy to talk trenches. We don't want that.
No, it's not. But that's what Shanahan's about. Like, as a coach, like it might be a lot of like fun and looks cool, but if you can't block, it's not good.
And you got CMC, who's hurt a lot too. It's kind of you guys are at a weird time right now. We'll see how the Purdy contract goes. If this goes till into the middle of camp, that's not good. So they got to get this. The quarterback is more important than the other positions even to get in before that. So we'll see what you guys do with that. Draft making its way, getting closer. The rumors will start to fly here. I just always get a kick out of the NFL draft rumor time, because it's just the wild takes you could have, and just some of the insight that these media guys just throw out there. Just like, what are we talking about? I like the fake one where somebody wrote Hunter Renfrow retired, and then he responded with, "I had no idea." It's like,
I didn't know I was working so hard.
I didn't know I was doing that. So, like I said, the Niners still just last point. They could apply the franchise tag to Purdy for the next 2 years. Now, I'm not saying that's the best way to do negotiations, but they do have that. They do have that leverage, I guess you would say. So, what do you make with the as we kind of move on from the NFL, like I said, that will kind of pick up a little bit here too. The Warriors and Butler, they go to 11-2 now since the Butler trade. Is Steph Curry a top 10 player when it's all said and done, or does his size and defense just not allow it? I feel like I was thinking about that. Like, not many guys are just turning and shooting threes from the logo as simple as he can. He's got to be maybe right up there as one of the greatest offensive weapons in the last 50 years. Doesn't mean he's the best player, but just a pure weapon. I mean, he has got to be. He's the best shooter, so that matters, and he moves the best without the ball. But does the size and defense, and when I say size, I know he's still 6'3", but you know what I mean in basketball terms. Does that prevent him from ever getting that top 10 title, like getting a Shaq out of the way, or you know what I mean, like moving on? What do you think?
I think he's a top 10 player. I don't know who you put him in over. Like, I'm not going to make a list, but just he's
Duncan. Is he better than Duncan?
Probably not. You mentioned it though, in that he does two things better than anyone in the history of basketball. He shoots better and he moves without the ball better than anybody in the history of basketball, at least that I've seen. And so that puts you in this unique situation where, like, Duncan doesn't do anything better than the whole rest of the world, I wouldn't say. Maybe a bank shot, like a 15-foot bank shot, but that's really specific.
Yeah.
Where he's still great and he does everything really good. But, like, so Curry gets elevated in that aspect because you're like, oh, the greatest shooter. And that's, like, one of the most important things you can do in basketball. But his defense and his size probably does hold him back a little bit. But he's so exciting. He's so fun to watch. Everybody loves him. Like, oh, the face of the NBA, it's so hard. It's really not if you're Steph Curry and people are like, I'm sure there's some fan bases that don't like him, but like as a whole, he's got to be in the top 10. What he's accomplished at his size should elevate him. It shouldn't hinder him. He's amazing.
I'm just saying, if you're picking teams for a franchise, that's where like the size matters, right? That's my point. Is like
he won't make that. I wouldn't pick him in the top 10, I don't think, if I'm starting the franchise from like anybody in the history of the NBA. No, because his size would definitely hinder him.
Yeah, because a couple of the guys that kind of dominated a little bit over the time here is Duncan. So, you're probably taking Duncan over Curry, though, if you're taking Joker over Curry if you're starting a team?
Probably. I mean, you get a 7-footer that can do basically the same things. And
LeBron, of course, Kobe. And Shaq, would you take Shaq? And you're taking Shaq probably. Would you take Shaq over Curry too? You probably would, right? Probably. It's a big guy. And that's what kind of always kind of find interesting. He probably does crack the top 10 if I kind of narrow it down to the last 30 years. But if you start to go more than that, there's Akeem in there. There's other guys and that's why I said that size is always kind of an interesting take with me with him. Like in terms of, yes, he is all time exciting, but like if he was down to it, how many teams would start their franchise with Steph Curry? That's kind of an interesting point. So, like you said, like he does hold the title of like two of the best categories in terms of shooting and moving without the ball. Some would argue John Stockton holds two records that are very important as well, but a little different the way he got them than Steph. So, they end up winning last night, kind of in an ugly game versus Detroit. They get the win though. Green hits a big shot down the stretch there. I kind of wanted to add the Lakers to this too. I have it at the bottom. Are the Lakers and Warriors runs sustainable? The Lakers do get crushed last night by the best team maybe in NBA, the Celtics. What do you kind of make of the Warriors and the Lakers there in the West? Because a lot of people are adding up that LeBron Curry thing too, right? They're
always going to be compared.
And so with the Warriors 11-2 now, it's a legit run now with Butler on the team. So what do you kind of make? Is they both going to finish in the top 5? Is there a way? What do you think? What do you make here of both these teams?
I have both teams in the top 6. LeBron's out for a couple of weeks with a groin.
I thought he got hit in the chin yesterday.
Lakers are going to struggle. What was that?
I thought he got hit in the chin yesterday.
It looked like he got
forearm. I saw you posted that. That's great.
He's so annoying.
The flop.
I think the Warriors have a better chance of maintaining this top 6. The Lakers could slip if it's just Luka and the pieces around him. Like LeBron's done so much defensively the last month. I don't know. I don't buy the Lakers. They just don't have a big and to protect the paint. You have to have someone who's at least blocking shots and rebounding. Like we had Looney, who isn't a name, but he produced at like a level that was unbelievable in our championship run. We were talking about trophy or statues with Looney on that 2022 run when he was getting 20 rebounds but I don't know. I don't know. The Lakers, Austin Reeves will have to step up in this next 2 weeks. I think they're both sustainable. I think they're both going to be good. They're both going to be tough outs in the playoffs. I wouldn't want to play either one.
So what's the worst matchup for the Warriors? Like what team where you're like, oh, is it Denver?
It's Denver with Jokic. OKC isn't a bad matchup as far as style of play, but they're so uberly talented that it's a bad matchup for any team.
Yeah.
And then that's it. I don't really see the Clippers would be a bad matchup for the Warriors because of goddamn Zubac. Like, that guy is the biggest Warrior killer of all right now. Like, you play him, he's getting 20 and 20.
I know. He's just like right around the rim every time, too. He's like right
Is he the second best center in the West? I mean, if he's healthy.
No, I like that guy from Houston more.
Then Zubac, I don't know. Sengun's good, but defensively, Zubac does more.
No, I know. I think that guy just fits. I like if Sabonis is a center. I guess I kind of like him maybe a little more too. If I'm getting picky on those ones. Hold on, real quick. Back to my Curry thing with you taking Durant over Curry at first. If you had him,
probably not. I'd probably take Durant.
There you go. Just
get the size. I might take Durant first overall, like as far as skill set and stuff. Obviously, accomplishments, he hasn't done that. But Durant's that style of play with that size is just one of one. Why is Curry? What?
James Harden or Curry?
No, Curry. Stop.
Kevin Garnett.
Don't be disrespectful. Curry.
All right. So there's a little somebody there with a little size that year. Dirk.
Curry.
All right. So we're starting to get maybe that he does crack the top 10 then in this list here.
But I'm also not like a big homer on Curry. Like I love him, but I don't know.
11-2 since the Butler trade. They keep chugging along here. They got the Rockets in their sight, 3 games out. Memphis 3.5. So there's a chance they can get as high as that. Who they got next? They got the Blazers, who they should be able to win after that, and then they get back on the road here shortly. They got to go back down. They got to go to Atlanta, Miami, New Orleans, San Antonio, Memphis, at LA. That's a 6-game road trip. So we'll see how that will be kind of how they fare on that one. To me, will be a big test of where they end up. But they also got some tough games coming up too. New York's going to probably want a little rematch versus them. Sacramento. They got to play Denver, Milwaukee right before they get to that road trip. So a little bit of a run here. I think this will be kind of our test for them moving forward in terms of where they're going to land here and the thing. But obviously they want to get top 6. That's the main thing. Right now they'd be playing the Lakers, which would be kind of funny. I definitely would want with the Lakers. Would you want Lakers or Denver more?
Lakers.
It is Lakers because they struggle with LeBron.
That's because AD was there though. AD killed us. He was unreal. He was unstoppable.
I mean, even when he didn't play, sometimes we would lose. He gets hurt like the first 3 minutes of Christmas Day, and he's out there, and they lose that one. Andrew Wiggins stay in front of somebody. I got so many changes at that point. All right, so that was kind of my little things on the Warriors. So you think it is sustainable? Yeah.
How good has Moses Moody been defending the ball? Like he gets his hands on so many like low dribbles now that like the last 2 weeks I've noticed he gets his hands on everything. He's stealing balls like he's one of the best thieves in the league right now.
He's gotten a little extra life, that's for sure.
He's been great
since the trade. It'd be interesting when Kuminga comes back. Does Kerr just go back again to taking his minutes away? I'm just saying, Pods went out with the back thing. So it'll be interesting how they use those minutes. You're saying no, but Moody has always been the guy that draws the short straw there. So we'll see what happens but I feel like he's playing good enough to where they can't do that now.
Yeah.
Like he finally's kind of figured some things out. He's finishing more. That's always a big thing for me. If you can finish at the rim, then it totally opens up your game more. And I feel like he's actually making layups when he's harder shots too, not just your protocol just drive. Like he's had to hang in the air a couple of them. And to me, when you're doing that changes the coach's feel on minutes and stuff. So you say it's sustainable. It's going to be a big run here the next 15 games. We'll see what they got. That road trip's not going to be easy for him as well. So we'll see where they make that Brian's not here for fact of the week, but how about Irving going out for the year now with Dallas? You talk about a trade that just from the very beginning, like everybody hated it. You can say whatever you wanted about Davis. He's a good player, all this, but the man ends up on the injured list and he gets hurt like what, first half of his first
after
game.
he was tearing it up. And
then they're playing Irving like 38 minutes a game, basically, like he's a rookie. And then he goes down. And so like if we kind of go back to a Warriors thing here, Clay stuck in the middle.
Oh God. He's so bad now. He's not even good now. Like especially when he's by himself. It's not fun. Like watching his decline has been rough.
Yeah.
It's not aging well.
And his ego's got a little bit the best of him.
Absolutely. Like the end of the Warriors thing, he got in his feelings. His feelings definitely got hurt, and he said, I don't want to be here anymore. Nico Harrison survived the year.
I'm going to say he's fired at the end of the year. How can you make – I'm serious, that trade is undefensible. I've always been – like, I know you kind of tried to hype up Davis just for the sake of it when they made the trade, but, I mean, to only get – you got to get more first-round picks at the very least of that. I mean, my goodness, and what are we doing? It just doesn't make sense. And to do it to the Lakers is the other – it's just – I don't know. I know it's always going to be one of the worst ones ever. And I think even this short run you're seeing where Luka's – he's just a better player. He's one of the best players. He controls offense. He maybe has the best defensive player and stuff, but give me a guy like that any time of the week, and I'm going to take that. All right, we're going to do you got anything on the NBA? Anything else on the NBA you wanted to bring up?
Nope.
So was it next week? I think the Warriors, like I said, like kind of an interesting schedule. So we'll see where they end up with. Celtics do crush the Lakers yesterday. That was kind of good to see. So I didn't mind seeing that as well. The Celtics still the favorite though, pretty heavily to you.
Yeah, I think they're the best. As long as Drew gets healthy. Like, if he's healthy and ready to go. And everyone else stays healthy, obviously. You can't lose Tatum or Brown or
no.
Porzingis needs to get back. But if they're fully healthy, they're the best team.
What did you have for we were going to do best? We saw this thing online. It just made me laugh, and I'm going to get it up here shortly. It's kind of a longer video, but I just feel like it's too good. And me and Tyler are by ourselves this Sunday, so we got a little extra time to be able to maybe stretch it out a little here. But I thought it was kind of a funny topic. I said top white people sayings. Like what is like when you I got the video. What do you got for a few that you got?
A few I got. Newsflash, buddy. Spaghetti-o.
Newsflash, buddy. That's a good
Frick. What else?
Newsflash, buddy. That's a good one. You said you had like 12. Give me. Just throw them out there. Just name them.
Sake.
Oh, that's a good one.
You and what army? My mom used to say that when I'd be like, I don't want to. I'm gonna go do that. You and what army? What the flip? Teamwork makes the dream work.
Suck it up,
holy macaroni.
Holy macaroni.
Sweet giblets.
That's great. I'm gonna get a few. You want me to get this video up here, or you got a couple more?
Golly gosh gee. By golly. Anything with golly.
What was your dad saying?
What
was your dad's? Did your dad have a go-to saying? Even if it wasn't that, did he have something that he would say on the baseball field? No.
Get in front of the damn ball.
That's an all-around saying. We all know that one. That's funny. I love Newsflash, buddy. That's a good one. That might be my favorite one. Newsflash, buddy. Here's two guys talking about it. It's I just thought it was great. It's a little on team, but just enjoy some of it. I think you'll get a kick out of it.
Holy cow.
That's a good one too.
Bert, you're barking up the wrong tree, pal.
What I wanted to say, they did that big one with your barking up the wrong tree, pal.
You're barking up your wrong tree, pal.
That's a good one.
Oh, man. My first one is you're skating on thin ice, buddy.
You're skating on thin ice, pal. It's the same guy. People just been fucking with him all day.
All right.
No more Mr. Nice Guy. Yeah. No more Mr. Nice Guy. You pushed me over the edge, man. You were already barking up the wrong tree and you were skating on thin ice. Now it's no more Mr. Nice.
I mean, you can do all three of those in a row.
Yeah, you can put them together.
Oh, stop. Okay, I'm gonna go in with you.
Okay.
It ain't in the same team, but in the same family.
Let's get it.
When they person say something back to them, they're like, "Oh, that's rich. That's rich." I love it. I mean, that's a solid counter.
Yeah.
You know, Kev, you fat. Well, that's rich.
We'll get a load of this guy. That's the next one. You're barking up the wrong tree after you skating on thin ice.
I love getting a load of this guy.
Get a load of this.
That could go for funny too. Like this guy's killing. Hey, get a load of this guy.
Get a load of this guy.
It could be funny.
I'll see he'll have some of that pop up here. I'm gonna get the video back on there. I'm just gonna keep it on because it's pretty funny. But I thought those were some good ones that they had on there as well. Newsflash, buddy, they had that one. They just brought that one up. Newsflash, buddy, that's a good one too. So I thought that was good. It's kind of funny, like with the sayings, like those are kind of part of it. Like you're doing black guys too, kind of their cultural thought of it too. It's like they're kind of the same ones. No shit, Sherlock. I forgot about that. That's a good one too. So let me get. There's about another minute. Let me just get it on here. It's too good.
All in the same day.
Just two neighbors fighting over who needs to cut the hedges down.
What you
I'm
got?
gonna go with one that's actually entered my lexicon. Start as a joke. Now I just say cool beans.
Oh, cool beans.
Cool beans.
Shout out Brian.
I heard that I was at no lie at a coffee shop in Portland. I thought he was saying that because of the coffee, but he was just really nice. He was like, "Oh, cool beans," and I was like, "Huh." So I say it as a joke, but now sometimes I just be texting Liz, "Cool beans,
cool beans." Oh, for Pete's sake!
That's good.
That's what you're texting. Oh, for Pete's sake! Who is Pete? I got to know.
Last minute here is good.
Watch it, Bucko.
Oh.
They love a good Bucko.
Bucko.
Watch it, pal.
Watch it, Bucko.
Bucko.
Up yours, pal.
Well, boo-hoo. Well, boo freaking who, Tony? Cry me a river. Boo, cry me a river. I don't know. Is that white people? I feel like white people would be big with cry me a river.
Yeah. Look at what the cat dragged in. Look at what the cat dragged in.
This might be my favorite one. You really screwed the pooch here, bro. Bowie? Oh, my. The guy that trained me, I would mess up when I was a hard program to learn. He used to always come over, lean over my desk, hands on his hips, look at my program. Oh, you really screwed the pooch here, pal. That's more than 10. Shout out to white people.
I thought that was kind of a funny little thought there too with it. I thought they just kind of put it well, like this other ones with it. So I thought they did good. My favorite part is white people like a good Bucko. I like it. Yeah. I thought that was good.
You're on thin ice, pal.
So that video always kind of cracks me up when I saw that this week. It got me kind of thinking about it. Newsflash, buddy. I think that might be one of my favorite ones that I got from this week on it. All right, so those are some of our sayings. If you got any other good ones out there, let me know. T, what's your winners and losers of the week here? Where do you want to start?
I'll start with winners, and I had Moody's defense as a winner just for the past couple weeks. I've talked about.
I like that.
Draymond hitting probably his most clutch 3-point shot in the last since Game 7 of the NBA Finals that they lost. Mm-hmm. I was like, "What are you doing, Draymond?" Great shot, Draymond, big winner. And then I have Rick Pitino as my main winner of the week. Wherever he goes, he's just gonna win. Like, I have a list of coaches, and I'm going to ask, is Rick Pitino better or worse than this college basketball coach?
Okay.
Okay?
All
Jim
right.
Calhoun.
I'm going to say he is... Ooh, that's a tough one. Ooh,
Yeah,
that's a
these
tough
are all
one.
going to be tough.
I'm going to say he's a little better.
Jim Boeheim.
Not better.
Izzo.
No, I was getting Calhoun and Boeheim mixed up. Switch those two. I was thinking Calhoun was the Syracuse. Yeah, Boeheim. So I would say he's better than Boeheim, but not Calhoun.
Okay.
So what was it? Izzo? Yes.
Calipari.
Yes.
And Roy Williams.
No. Those would be
Those
the
were my 5. I have him better than everybody on that list except Roy Williams.
Coach K. I'm assuming he's not better than.
He's not better.
Yeah.
Than
Yeah, that's a tough list right there.
But you can't, if you factor in like off the court stuff, he falls down this list and gets pushed in this like, oh yeah, but he's a bad guy. But as far as between the lines, like everywhere he's gone, he's just
Louisville. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Iona, like he made them go to the tournament 2 years in a row.
How about Bill Self?
St. John's. We haven't seen St. John's good since.
Did you see how they won yesterday? That was one of my losers of the week. Was Marquette.
I didn't see it, but I saw that St. John's won.
I'll get it up here in just a second. Yeah, that was a terrible one. They end up losing on a turnover at the end.
Turnovers suck.
Like basically they get the rebound and then they end up with the loss. I'll have to find it up here when I can get it. But so that's a good one for winner of the week. I had for winner of the week I had more Barry Bonds content. I'm liking that. I'm liking that we're getting that a little bit more. I like the video that he had this week where he was basically just saying that he was on the Steven Jackson show with Matt Barnes, and he ends up just saying like, he goes, they go, could you still hit 100-mile-per-hour baseball right now? And he's like, if it go, yeah, like basically like, yeah, if you're just throwing it straight, all I have to do is change the object to another object. I'm like, yeah, it's not that simple for most people. I think that I was like, it's not usually that work that easily for other people. So I had Barry Bonds content on there. Joker went 30, 20, and 20 in a game this week. That's insane. He MVP again, right?
He's right there. I wouldn't be upset if they just split it, but I think whoever you give it to, I wouldn't be upset.
SGA or him probably is what you're thinking, right?
Yeah.
Joker's again size, right? Right? When you're taking Joker first over SGA every day of the week, right? Every day, or am I wrong?
No.
So I got him on there as well. March Madness is close. So I'm starting to get that fever. That's also to it. Here's how they lost. So basically, it's tied. St. John's has the ball with 8 seconds left.
His game to win. The likely Big East Player of the Year. He pulls from distance. Missed it. Russ with a rebound. Take it away. Wilter to Edgefor. Oh! St. John's at the buzzer.
Hits him with the night-night.
In overtime to get their
Who knew a floater McGee hits you with a night-night? That's a tough way to lose. That's a tough way to go out at the end like that. So a little turnover at the end. Like just you thought you get the defense to stop. No, a turnover. Unbelievable. And you end up losing it there. So I got that for that was your play there that you had up on there. I got one more video I'm going to get to before we call the show here. But T, what do you have for losers of the week here?
Losers of the week. I can't think of it. You go ahead.
So for loser of the week for me is the LeBron Stephen A stuff. Okay. I just don't get like, well, come on, Stephen A. I thought you had some guts. Come on, I thought he's bowing down now to him after he makes the comments like, well, like all you said was talked about him as a basketball player. Like you didn't say he's a terrible father. I mean, that, you know what I mean? Like he got him in the league because he plays for the Lakers. That's the reality of the situation. He hasn't been able to do anything in the NBA. Nobody else would have been drafted. It's okay to make those comments a lot. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's okay as a media member. I think that now they're playing the game, though, right? LeBron knows he can deny him access and certain stuff if they want moving forward. Like, that game you can tell is being played a little bit. I thought Stephen A., considering the way he usually is, he kind of backed down a little bit when I heard his comments. I don't watch First Take anymore, but I did specifically hear those comments on his response back. So, I think that was kind of a loser of the week for me. And I had Marquette down as well for a big loser of the week. And then always for me, I always keep an eye on spring training injuries. Garrett Cole says he's a little worried about his elbow discomfort. So that's not a good sign. I felt like he had an issue last spring too. So the baseball injuries, Tyler, we're about to hear about. So we know that's coming. So I have that for my loser of the week.
Let me pile on LeBron flopping as Jason Tatum goes around him. It's just typical LeBron fashion. We don't need to say more. And then the New Orleans Pelicans. You have talent. You get talent in there constantly. Like Dyson Daniels, he's no longer there. Like Zion. I don't know. You're just pathetic all the time.
And even
Obviously, injuries play a factor.
yeah.
But I don't know. Their training staff doesn't hold them accountable. I don't know what's going on, but they're always hurt, and it's just bad franchise.
Yeah, and you talk about a franchise that maybe they should think about moving. I know it sounds ridiculous, but like I'm just saying, like you talk about moving franchises, that would not be one that I don't think in New Orleans is like this hotbed for basketball, but nobody's ever saying move a team out of there for it. But also loser of the week, the A's, where they're doing a Vegas patch in Sacramento. That's an interesting.
Are they really?
Yeah, they got a sponsor to have. They'll have a Vegas patch while they're in Sacramento, so they're getting killed for their typical thing that they usually do. I was thinking about the.
Do the A's get a winner of the week for signing Lawerence Butler?
No, they don't get winner of the week. But I did notice they did sign him though. That was a good little pickup. Your Giants are off to a good start in spring trading. Mike Kruko's loving the energy that you're getting from Adames, and Chapman seems to play in well. I picked him. I know you didn't listen to our show this week, but
I listened to the trivia. I fast forward to that.
So I won't get you on that. But yeah, I think you just got to check out my NL West section of it. I had some. I think you'll be interested in my Giants take there. It's kind of towards the end with the Padres part of it, but I think there's a chance the Giants could maybe get to second place, Tyler. So you got to hear my reasoning on that and when I do it. So if you haven't checked out Seventh Inning, guys, go check it out. Me and Josh were on there this week, so a little bit of a shorter show as well. I was thinking about the NBA plays as we kind of wrap up our show here, and like there's certain ones that we don't see as often, or they're just kind of miracle shots. And there's one guy that has two of them that I can't come to mind where they were replicated in a game and the way he was. And that goes to Dr. J. And this play I've always been fascinated with, the rock the baby dunk. And the other one, obviously, too, where he goes under the rim. That one is insane. But like just how like easily he dunks this one, and just like you can see, I don't know, like it's just one of those plays that I'm always fascinated by.
This isn't even like prime Dr. J.
Yes, he's got it.
No.
Here he comes.
The older
Rocks the baby
DJ.
to sleep and slams
It's just
him.
the way he's able to
Laker turnover.
get a little Chuck on there too. I don't know. It's just one of those like supreme confident, right? Like you're mid finals here. I'm rocking it right now. Good night. Like he's right there. Like he's not even like not there. Cooper's kind of in front of him in a sense, right? Like I wouldn't say he's in front, but he got in front of him, and he's just like, no, I'm just gonna rise above, but not just rise above. I'm gonna rock the baby above. So like basically a windmill, right? That's what that
Big
was.
hands. Big hands.
I always feel like that's one of the more underrated plays in NBA history. I know it's talked about a ton, but for our generations, we move farther and farther away from it. I don't know. That one always fascinates me quite a bit. Is that rock the baby one right there? Like it's just so. I used to take that play for granted too when I was younger. I didn't think much of it, to be honest with you.
No, it was a nice dunk. Like I mean,
yeah, but I didn't
window, but I didn't think of it as like.
No, I was like, oh, it's kind of like your prototypical play. It seems like something you should be able to do once in a while.
I don't know. I went that far.
No, like as a kid, you just don't realize how hard some of these are. And so for me, it was one. All right, one more. I got to get on. I got to get them out of the chamber here. These are just great plays. This is a good morning for it. This is from 2022. A little soccer goal here.
Ahead of it. Bergkamp suddenly changed pace through the centre. It's Bergkamp.
Oh, how nice!
Magnificent.
A cheeky touch.
Who's that guy right there? I forget his name. Is that Suarez?
Henry? No,
I think that was
too
Suarez.
old to be Suarez.
I think it was the guy that hugged him. Watch this
The moves.
thing.
And then this,
Yeah, that's pretty good.
which left Dabby's
That's not bad, Tyler. That's not bad right there at all. That's not too bad at all.
Cheeky touch.
That's a pretty good there. So a couple videos to get you out on a good week ahead here. Tyler, enjoy your baseball practice today.
Will do.
Say hi to the troops. Keep track of who's there, who's not there.
showing
The
up?
big part. I got we finished basketball this week with our girls team, so I got that kind of all wrapped up. Check out that other sports show. They did a good job last week. They talked a lot of Raiders to start. A little negativity on the Raiders, but I enjoyed the conversation that they had with them as well. If you get a chance, check out Seventh Inning. We'll be back next week. Fatboy FadeAway episode 2000 or not 2000.
2000.
We're not there yet. 216. We'll be back with you next week. So for Tyler McGurk.